The new Gunner Heat PC adds a new armored vehicle. It is the BMP-2. It is currently available on the tank range as well as a singular mission that you can play right now. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you where to access this vehicle. We're going to click on Instant Action. We're going to click off that tank range, and then we're going to go right back to it. We're going to click on Showcase, and then we're going to hit Start. While it loads, we're just going to wait for it to load, but I really wanted to show you how to access this vehicle right now because a lot of people usually have those questions. We're going to hit that Tab key. From Tab, we're going to click on BMP-2, and we're going to hit the C key. And we're just going to take a quick look at the exterior of the BMP-2. As you see, I believe it has a 30mm autocannon armed with armor-piercing ballistic cap, as well as high explosive fragmentation rounds. And I believe that's a 9 Mike 113 Cookers ATGM. I may have butchered that. I apologize. And this is what the BMP currently looks like, or the BMP-2. So we hit the C key. It brings us back into the commander's position. Now we're going to go take a look at the sights. So we're going to drag our sight to the left and to the right and identify a target for us to engage. So from here, if you hit the T key, that activates your thermals and your night vision. The page up and down key change the range. As you see, if we hit page up, our range increases. If we hit page down, it goes all the way back to 0. The sight over here on the left with the range identifier, the NKT, I'm sorry I don't know those letters and the other in Russian, but that correlates to your 7.62 machine gun. And the sight on the left-hand side, which looks like a G or a B and a P, correlates to your actual 30mm cannon. So what you see if you look in that lower left-hand corner, the 30mm gun, 2 Alpha Alpha 2, we have our ballistic capped, our armor-piercing rounds currently set. So if we bring our rangefinder over here, there is no lasing within this vehicle. We see that that's around 600 meters. And if we want a more interesting target, we'd identify one of these orange ones way, way, way off in the distance. So we would just kind of eye that, and it's around 1,400 meters, 14 to 1,600 meters. So what we would do is we'd hit page up several times until we get around to 1,500 meters. We'd realign our sight, and we'd right-click or left-click to fire. Let's see if we're right on target. We're a little off. It feels more like a range. Yeah, as you see, it disperses a little bit. We're about 100 meters off, and we currently have 156 armor-piercing rounds. So if we were to hit the 2 key, the 2 is going to switch to a high explosives. The first round is still ranged for the armor-piercing ballistic cap. So if we fire 1, you'll watch the sight shift down. And then you'd need to re-bring your sight back up so it changes automatically, and now we're engaging with high explosives. We're 100 meters off. Right? And that's the same thing for the armor piercing. So if we were to hit the 1 key and bring it right back up, we'd fire. Oops, 1, there it goes. It would change our sight after that next engagement. And then we're right back on target. So if we really wanted to test R, we'll talk about that in a second. As you see over there, see how that NKTs, that's our current 7.62 range. So we drag way, way, way far up, just like that. And we can actually begin engaging that, but you could actually make it to where the 7.62 isn't even showing on the screen. So we're going to hit page up a bunch more times. As you see, it completely falls off. So as we hit page down, we're going to go back to 500, 700 meters. One thing that you make note of, so if we hit the brackets key to change our weapon system, this gun, or this ATGM, the 9 Mike 113 Conquerors ATGM, rotates separately from the actual 30mm cannon. So we are to hit shift. You see that it's rotating separately. So that may cause some confusion as your camera rotates separately and then you switch over to the ATGM. You'll have to rotate your ATGM as well. So let's hit that shift key, go back in. And this is a wire-guided weapon system, so it's not fire and forget, so you need to maintain that lock. So if we were to drag like left or to the right, the weapon system would fly wherever it goes because it's wire-guided. So let's crash it, just like that. That is just to demonstrate the wire-guided system. We're going to reload, and then we're going to fire 1 more on target, and we're just going to maintain that target. And if we move, it's not a stabilized weapon system, as you see. So it just went way up into space. That's just really important to note. So let's hit escape, let's hit quit domain menu, and let's go check out the new April Fool's mission. So if we click on instant action, it's going to bring up this April Fool's mission where we get to be a friendly BMP. We're in 1st platoon. The situation is the enemy is trying to throw a party. This is unacceptable. There will be no fun in this war. You have been assigned as the fun police and must terminate all party preparations with extreme prejudice. Oh, I didn't talk about thermals. So there are thermals on the BMP2 as well. So if you skip this loading screen, you're going to miss the talk about the thermals, but I'll demonstrate it once we get in. So long little loading screen. I believe I have this on just your normal NVM2, 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. So like I said before, if you hit that shift key, we're just going to discuss. Hit T to bring up your thermals. Your rangefinder does go away. So that's really important to note. So we're going to begin moving forward. There are 3 BMPs with us, and they look like they're not in that little wedge formation. They were just parked off to the side. We're going to move up the hill. We do have a 670 meter target way off there in the distance. As you see, we zoom in. We can see we're currently ranged for around 0 meters. We should probably set that at 500 just because. So at least a quarter-mile distance. Hopefully we don't stumble onto anyone before that. We also have our armor piercing equipped, so let's switch to high explosives. And we're just going to begin scouting, stopping, scouting, seeing what we identify. Everything's within 500 meters. We're moving towards our objective, which I believe we are moving east. Lots of waypoints to hit. This is a big party we need to bust up and bust open. I'm glad that some of the missions are getting a bit longer. A lot of the early GHPC missions were really short, and so it just made it really challenging to enjoy your time within GHPC. Now, if you enjoy military strategy, tactics, and doctrine and like seeing it applied to strategy games, I guarantee this is the channel for you, so make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And one thing that I always want to talk about is why does it feel like I'm charging uphill in like 90% of these GHPC games or missions? That guy's having a bad time. So we're going to see if we can identify those little trucks, little supply line running away from us. That guy's having a bad time. Hopefully he's not panicking and he disembarks. Perfectly placed little barrel. I don't really see those as being functional members of society anymore. So we're going to continue to push forward. They are smoking a little bit. Nothing's cooking off. This guy's a bit questionable. We'll put another round in him just to make sure. We have 314 high explosives left. Moving uphill to secure this objective. Continuing 240 meters off. So we should probably bring our sights down to around 300 because we're well within that 300 meter range. PC, all right, and this is actually the new, remember, we just switched to our armor ballistic cap. The new East German voices. I could have swore I switched. All right, we're being engaged by these M113s with their 50 cals. Putting some armor piercing rounds through the front of their armor. And the first assembly point has been neutralized. We have 146 more rounds more to go. Continuing to advance up this hillside. Next target's been identified. There we go. Short burst, 3 to 5 rounds. We don't, what? This guy's a maniac. Is he just rolling at me? We're just going to ignore that dude. Later, dude. So they did add some new voice lines, as you see. I don't know what that guy's doing. Continue onward, good sir. He's probably some driver in there like, please don't double tap. Please don't double tap. All right, we're at 60 meters from the first objective. We're at cresting this hill. All right, looks like some dust there. All right, that should easily be destroyed. We're going to switch back to a high explosive since we're facing off of facing lighter vehicles. I don't want to waste all our armor piercing. Put another high explosive round through that engine block. All right. Does high explosive work on these? All right, right back to the ballistic cap armor piercing. That vehicle's smoking. This guy's just running at us like a maniac. Not engaging when it engage the ones who are currently engaging us. Hitting that side armor. Oh, off target. Put one round right through that little gunner's hatch. All right, easily done. Nice and done. Continuing to press forward, 400 meters off from our target. Another group of M113s down. All BMPs are still currently active, so we're doing a really good job. We have 70 rounds left of our armor-piercing ballistic capped. 30mm cannon is active. 4 ATGM set. I hear a machine gun. Oh, is it a chopper? I don't know what that is. This game's crashed on me a few times, so it might just be a sound bug. Which is unfortunate. I don't want us to experience a sound bug. We have no cast, no artillery, but we do have no illumination flares as well. Alright, 200 meters off the first objective. AP truck to the left. Thermal's active. Moving forward, these are high explosives currently equipped. Same target, fire. These German voice actors are a lot more calm than the American. I wonder if they're going to redo the American accents. These guys aren't screaming gunner, heat, PC. All right, move to waypoint 2. We're advancing to waypoint 2. So let's take a look at a map, make sure we're going the correct direction. We do need to, I believe we need to rotate that way. So let's pull up our map. It looks like we can either take this road, which I'm hesitant in doing, or we could just go around down this hillside. I mean, do we try the road? The trees are like cement blocks. I guess, no, I don't want to lose the AI. I don't think the AI is capable of traveling through the woods. I don't know. I'm not really going to risk it. I don't really see a reason to risk it. We're just going to continue on our way, and we'll just make a left turn once we rotate around this. I just don't know how the AI is going to react to those woods. And I don't want to lose two out of 3. It looks 2 out of 3 of my BMPs that I'll have for this mission. I think that's and it doesn't look like it wanted us to go that way. Take out the tires. I saw that PC to the right. Let's hit 1. Start. That guy should be having a bad time. All right, let's switch to our wire-guided weapon system. A little squirrely. All right, outstanding. We're going to let that reload, and then we're going to switch to our other gun. Is that guy still active? Smoking. 50 cal. Ooh, that was like a direct little headshot. Turn our night vision thermals back off. Please let me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Kind of losing some connection to the keyboard for some reason. All right, moving forward. That could just be my wireless keyboard. Advancing a little bit of clipping on the weapon right there. All right, what's going on here? We're unable to get into our sight. All right, C lets us get back into our sight. There it goes. Switching back to our high explosives. Stopping another vehicle. These Americans must just not have any sort of radios, even though this is the late Cold War. I'm not sure why they aren't communicating, calling in stronger assets, but we'll just keep steamrolling through this little mess of a mess. That guy? No, he's down. All right, rounding that corner that we were talking about. As we round this corner, we have 400 meters off. We're currently ranged at 300 meters for all our weapon systems, except, I believe, the machine gun. What's that? I thought it was like a sand hill over there. All right, once at waypoint 2, we need to advance to location 1, 2, and 3. This is a nice long little mission. Kind of some weak weapons. We're fighting off M113s instead of Bradleys, but all right, we're going to pause. Looks like we got a bit of a turkey shoot out there. Anything? I don't see anything. No movement, no hostiles, that's for sure. I don't know what the East Germans would call hostiles. Americans. They wouldn't call us Americans. They call us Yankee dogs. The 3 party bosses, all right? The party boss is located in one of the 3 party boss locations. Kill him. So if we hit map, let's identify our 3 party boss locations. There's one directly in front of us. Not sure what a party boss is. He's not in the first location. Scanning location 2. I don't see anyone way out there. All right, we're going to move forward. I don't want to stumble into like a M1 Abrams, you know, or an M60. That would just be foolish. We need to survive. Is that a dust cloud? That's a rock. God, it feels like I'm playing PUBG with all these like trees that look like tanks and tanks that look like people. All right, advancing on location 1. PC. Someone sees it. Oh, that's a big gun. We're just gonna... That's a Bradley. All right, he put like a 30 millimeter right through us. I guess he was just coming down the road. Let's put an ATGM in him just for the fun of it. So let's switch to our ATGM. See, as you see, we always need to reposition it. All right, give him a little cook-off. I feel like I'm not stabilized. There we go. Put a few little 7.62 meters into him. Execute some doctrine. Who knows if that is or not. Turn our thermals off and hit the N key and take a look at our after action. All right, we're going to tab mostly through this because this is when we're using our high explosives. I really want to see the effect on the actual M113s. I want to see how the armor piercing does on the M113. So we're going to have to sit here and... All right, here we go. So what type of round is this? How do we tell what round is this? So this is our first little... I'm going to assume it's a high explosives. High explosive. And it still barely penetrates. What's that, like 13 millimeters armor? Maybe it's 56. Another high explosive round. Really struggling. There we go. Get through. None of those are like even getting through. Wait, how do we actually destroy these vehicles when we engage them? All right, and there it goes. I think those are the high explosives, and we finally decided to use the armor-piercing ballistic capped. And here we have the armor-piercing ballistic capped. And as you see, there's 2 people. We're taking out the gunner, the driver. Yeah, these are the armor-piercing ballistic cap. The first ones are high explosives. Really, really good. Kind of shred that armor, no problem. Not really an issue. This must have been the guy who was just rolling down the hill. We really didn't like his tracks. I guess the driver was still... Oh, my God. We missed every shot on that driver. Here, this looks like an armor-piercing ballistic cap right through the engine block. Probably just mostly took out the tire and probably absolutely nothing. Maybe the headlight. High explosives. Ooh, the high explosives are not as effective as I thought they would be on these lightly armored vehicles. It's weird. High explosive, all in the tracks. Ooh, that one actually penetrated right there. High explosive. And then we finally have our actual armor piercing. Let's take a look at the Bradley. We know the effect of the high explosive. They like kind of go straight through, so they like damage the vehicle, but they don't really take out the actual members in the compartment. So I think that's really, really important to note or talk about. I say note a lot while you play this game. Is you need to prioritize their critical spots while it'll go through the armor. It doesn't look like it does much damage to the crew people or the crewmen inside. The crew people. All right, there we go. Shredded the driver. Ideally, don't want to be a driver in this vehicle. We're almost to the Bradley. We just don't want to hit F too much because then we'll just... This is like our turkey shoot. All right, here we go. Here's a Bradley. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this, I believe, were the high explosives, more high explosives. Really, really struggling to penetrate that Bradley. This is when we were suppressing with our high explosives because we didn't have our armor-piercing ballistic caps in. And then here we have our armor-piercing ones. And those are going, yep, straight through like I thought they were. Not really doing much penetration. I wonder how we disabled it. Because these don't look like they're going all the way through. Right there, it looks like we got it in. So the gunners is where there's a bunch of weak armor. Definitely that guy no longer has an arm. Then here's our ATGM, our 9 mic 113. And even that doesn't look like it did that much. Like it definitely caused a bit of a catastrophic damage. It went straight through. That Bradley's really strong. All right, guys. Peace. Subscribe.